How was Paihia for you?
Pai was good. I actually went over back over this morning because I met a lady over there and she wanted an Angry Birds doll. So I found a pattern and I took it over to her this morning. So she was happy with that.
What was it?
Angry Birds? Have you heard of Angry Birds? It's
No.
like the app. It's like a popular like video game type series.
Oh, so you made her one of the critters from it or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, how long have you been doing crochet for?
Probably 12 to 15 years maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't really kept count, but roughly that long. Yeah, I've been. I mean, up until a couple of years ago, it was kind of like a hobby, but now I've basically make a living from it. So
Oh, good for you. Word of mouth.
yeah, a bit of word of mouth, and it's a bit of a. It's not an easy journey, but I mean, I get to do create, get to do what I love, to make things, play with colours, so,
Yeah.
which I really enjoy. So.
So what are you making right now?
Oh, this is one of these
Oh,
octopus
oh, okay.
keychains. So, yeah,
Oh,
they've
okay.
been,
So it's a keychain. Cool.
yeah, they've been. Well, some of them have a chain on them, and others don't.
Or you could hang them in
This
your
one's
in
got
your
a
car
rattle.
mirror or something, eh?
Yeah, you can hang them in your car mirror,
Yeah.
or
Right.
they're quite tactile with the tentacles and the squishy heads.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they're
Right.
quite good for ADD kids or whatever else,
Okay.
or people with like stress ball type things.
Right.
They
Right.
almost double as, and they're quite catchy. People seem to like them. So that's one of the ranges that have been the most popular. So I'm trying to have.
So, so what actually brought you to crocheting? Did you just wanted to just? I mean, have you always done sort of creative things with your hands and?
Not so much with my hands. I've done. I've always like either written poetry or some kind of creative outlet. I guess the writing I didn't really. It kind of fell by the wayside a bit. And when I was traveling, at one about 5 or so years ago, I was backpacking around the world, and I wanted a sort of a creative hobby to do in my downtime. So I'd learnt a little bit of crochet, basic stuff. So yeah, I just basically picked it up again, got a hook, and just got yarn as I travelled, and worked on things made of squares and just beanies and whatever else. I've probably got 20 or so different size hooks, and
Oh,
they're
okay.
about
Depending.
$15 a hook. So
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not that much because they last forever. Well, I have worn one or two out, but
And they're plastic and metal.
yeah, they have an alloy ergonomic type handle, and they have an alloy shaft. So I find these ones, these are Clover brand, and they have actually more of I like the more pointed, they've got quite a lot more pointed end than a lot of other brands, which I prefer for maneuverability. So I just carry the ones that I'm likely to use on any given day with me, but I've got a whole stack of them, probably another 15 or 20 different sizes at home for doing that. Bigger the shaft width, the bigger the yarn. So I'm working with double knit now, which is 8 ply. And for these little creatures, because you stuff them, you need quite a small. You don't want the stuffing to show through, so you want a smaller hook than you'd probably normally use for this yarn double knit, which you'd probably use a 4 if you were going to make a dishcloth or a cardigan or something like that. But yeah,
So it makes it tighter, so you don't see through it.
yeah, because I've got to stuff it with this stuff once I finish it. This is fibre fill, so and if it's too unless it's quite tight, the stuffing can actually show through, which you don't want it to do. So yeah, that's what so yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment. Yeah, and well, go back to the story. Yeah, that's how I got into it. It was just something I wanted to do when I was traveling, and a creative outlet. Yeah, and it's portable. I can take yeah, you see the hooks, they fit in this little case here. So and I can just take a bag of yarn, different depending on what I'm making. Yeah,
And you made that, obviously?
Yeah, this is some example of something else I made, which is it's a lined, hand sewed, just a crochet strip, hand sewed the lining, and then I put the flap on afterwards in a different color. I might have run out of the original color, or I might have just, I can't remember, but I might have just wanted a different color. But yeah, so that's
And is that wool, is that like one of those threads that goes through the different colors, or is that
yeah, this one is variegated, it's called. So I mean, it's dyed, that's how it's dyed. And I said this, for some reason, I must have I grabbed the black and maybe for a contrast, I'm not sure, but yeah, that's the sort of
awesome.
other sort of thing I make is like cases.
Oh, like for phones and things, or glasses?
Case I made for my phone. Same sort of deal, but this is a bit more decorative, so it's done at squares that I've joined together, and then I've basically sewed it up and again put the flap on afterwards and lined it and sewed these domes on, and then just so you put your phone case in there, whatever. This is something else I made. This is like a little bonnet sort of hat, sun hat.
Looks good.
Yeah, but that's a sort
nice design.
Yeah, that's
a little brim on it.
Sort of thing you can make. I mean, there's so much stuff you can make. It's incredible. Like, I don't know if I've got enough. There's more patterns than I've got time in my life to ever do.
Like, how do you feel when you're doing this?
It's very much like I sort of conceptualize it as an active meditation where I'm able to sort of things are just kind of, it's quite relaxing, I don't feel particularly stressed or anxious. That's one of the main reasons that I do it, just because it's, and it's also very fulfilling to be able to have stuff at the end of the journey that I've kind of added something to, brought to life metaphorically, I suppose. So it's feel great, definitely.
And so you would make things out of cotton and wool?
Cotton, wool, depending. These soft toys I've been making almost exclusively out of cotton, and that's it's just more durable, and you can you can actually put things in the wash, so you can put them through the wash and they'll come back.
Can you see some of those
things there? This is that's a little
adorable.
So
wow.
you can put it. That's done in cotton as well. So literally, I've put them in through the wash and put them in the hot water cupboard, and they dry and good as new. So
and you've got the stars.
Yeah, these are little like pendant
ornaments?
Type things, ornaments. You can put a keychain on them, and these are stars where I've basically done 2 stars, created 2 stars, and I've joined them together with what's known as a slip stitch. So these ones are, the multicolored ones are a bit more work, but these ones are, as they take about 40 minutes to do. 45 minutes, depending on if I'm in the zone or not. It's more of my collection of sea creatures. So it's people like to have different colour choices, so I like to have, say, a dozen to 18 different colour choices, and this is one where I experimented a little bit, and I did a corkscrew type.
It looks good. It looks good
so
with the corkscrew legs,
versus the conventional. This is a jellyfish that I made. So it's another
Portuguese man of war, or whatever it's
man
called.
of war. So I'll probably these take a bit longer though. This is probably about 2.5 hours work versus the octopuses are about an hour. Or the corkscrew one was probably about an extra 20 minutes or so to do that. Corkscrews.
So with your signs here, how does that tie in with what you're doing?
Well, it's pretty much like, it's a way to, because I've found it's quite challenging to make a decent kind of hourly rate once you put it into sort of price-wise with crafts. So I've found one of the other, because it's quite labour intensive, so what I do to try and offer people a different alternative is I'm happy to trade a creation for groceries. So that way I can I'm more likely to be able to get, because as a rate I try and get about $25 an hour for my creations plus the cost of the materials. So
Right, to
I
be a
sell
living
these for
wage.
like $30.
Right.
Yeah, so,
Right.
and sometimes the other thing is not everyone has cash these days, so to have a different option, people could, go and buy me some groceries on a credit card or whatever if they didn't have cash. So it's just another option for people to be able to kind of support my craft, and for me to support myself through my craft. So
And it gives flexibility,
yeah,
for
it gives
them
people
and-
flexibility.
yeah.
And it also, I guess it kind of also, in a way, I've noticed that it invites donations. Sometimes people might give me something, $10, $20, and they might not want to creation, but what that allows me to do is I sort of do a gift economy type model. So anyone, I basically live off donations and sales, and but what that allows me to do is, if say someone gives me a $2 donation, I can offer them something which is worth a lot more than that as a kind of a gift, because that other person that might have given me $20 and didn't want anything, it kind of offsets the
So you're giving forward,
yeah, it's like pay it forward
Yeah,
type thing. Gift
yeah.
economy, I'm not really so much, I'm aware-ish of the value of stuff, whatever, in that terms of an hourly rate, but I don't really make a point of counting. Like I said, if someone, even if they gave me 50 cents, I'd offer them something like this, or a star, which is technically, you'd say they're about, if I'm going to sell them, I sell them for about $15. But like I said, it balances out. There's always enough people that are just willing to support me for whatever reason, and they don't want a gift, because I make a point of offering everyone a gift. So it's basically a way for me to, along with this trading thing, it allows me to do what I love and to survive, basically.
Yeah, and I see you've got some other signs in there, so you, depending on how you're feeling on the day.
This is a template, so you'll notice that has groceries, it might be a coffee, it might be a meal.
Oh, okay, so I see what you're doing. So you'll peel off this bottom one.
It's on a laminate, and then I've got some blank ones where I have that are on a whiteboard sort of coating thing, where I can, if I want, I don't know, whatever, it might be some socks or something like that, I can put out a request to trade for whatever I might want on the day or need, or it's tailored. I can tailor it to my requirements. I guess what the weekly wage bill goes towards groceries anyway, so
right.
if it's almost just as good as money if I'm able to source some groceries, if people are happy to buy me a few groceries, and I can offer them something, and then because I would have bought the groceries anyway probably.
So how do you find, because the weather's pretty nice right now, and you're able to be on the sidewalk, and people are walking by. What about in like winter time? I mean, it's not like it's frigid conditions up here.
Come back in the winter and I'll have like a
you'll
big
be still
duffel
here.
coat and
Yeah.
like a beanie and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But thankfully it's not. I think we're lucky in the far north. It's not like, it doesn't get like Arctic type cold. So with enough warm clothing in that, it's pretty manageable. It's not like Tokoroa or South Island or something like that. So.
Yeah.
And the other thing I do is I will go and sit in a cafe and do the same sort of thing, not with the signs obviously, but I'll put my creations on the table and get myself a coffee and work away. And that's the other way that I find I make sales. People that sort of approach in those off the cuff social situations are more likely to want to be willing to pay what I'm asking in terms of price wise for my stuff. So,
right. And how do you find generally the public, with, I mean, you sitting here doing your craft? I mean, do you find that people come to you like expect you?
Sometimes, to be honest, most people leave me alone, which is kind of fine with me because, I mean, like I said, it's I'm being productive anyway. So at worst, I'm stocking, I'm creating more stock. But I also enjoy conversations with people. I guess that's one of the things about being kind of self-employed is that I can stop and chat when I want, and I can also do this basic things like this. I can still be communicating and working at the same time. So
Right. Not having to count the stitches all the time.
no, not having. Well, that's why I have this little thing. It's just basically that's my round marker. So
Okay. When you
I
know
find
you've
that
done a
it's
circle.
lot.
Kind
Yeah,
of,
I toss
see.
this thread over,
Okay.
and then I basically that's the starting point. So you can see this goes all the way up, and then when I'm done, I just pull it out.
What have you learned about yourself with this craft, or just interacting?
I continue. It's a continual learning thing for me. I think there's so many. The crafts and arts in general have there's so many life lessons, like metaphorical type lessons. It's an absolute requirement that you have patience, that you have persistence, that you have the ability to stick to the task. And I think in a world where it seems to be a lot of it is about instant gratification and whatever. So for me, it just helps me to, and when I'm not doing this, I find I can sometimes get anxious and rush. And but with this, I don't. It's no. Obviously, I'm trying to work as fast as I can, but I'm not. I'm not putting any pressure on myself to complete it or in any sort of a lightning speed or anything. So. Yeah, there's so much that I've learnt about myself, and I continue to learn about myself through this creative journey. I've learnt that I love colours, playing with colours, mixing and matching different colours. I love particularly these soft toys and that. I love how they people seem to get a kick out of them, young kids or whatever, so it gives me a large degree of satisfaction to think that I might have, if nothing else, created a moment of levity in somebody's life, even if they don't buy anything or donate or trade anything. It's very satisfying. Each creation carries a little bit of me, and it's my essence, I guess, or whatever, values. So I think it's a way to kind of live my values and to just, it's an expressionism, really.